My name is Rafael, you're watching Rock and Roll Garage, and today I'm going to tell you the funny story of when Ritchie Blackmore criticized Led Zeppelin to the late legendary John Bonham. That's right. But first, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave your comment. Well, back then in the early 70s, or throughout the 70s, all those big bands from the United Kingdom, heavier groups like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple and Black Sabbath, they were all friends and they used to hang out together and etc. Some of them even knew each other before fame. They knew each other before their bands became successful. And Ritchie Blackmore was a friend of John Bonham, who sadly passed away at the age of 32 in 1980. But in the 70s, they met one time at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in Los Angeles, a famous place for rock and roll music, at the Sunset Strip. And he recalled a really interesting story of Blackmore recalled a really interesting story in an interview with Neil Jeffries back in 1995 about when he criticized Led Zeppelin to John Bonham says. That's right. And this is what he said. This is just hilarious. I used to be very friendly with Bonzo, which was Bonham's nickname from Led Zeppelin. We'd be sitting drinking at the Rainbow in Los Angeles, and he'd be really up and drunk or really depressed. So he'd be looking at the table, and he used to say to me, "It must be really hard to stand there and go dun 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 dun, dun the Smoke and Water riff." And Blackmore then replied saying, "Yeah, it's nearly as difficult as going da 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 da, the whole lot of love riff." And Blackmore continued, "At least we don't copy anybody." And Bonham responded, "What are you talking about? That's bullshit." And then Blackmore told him, "I know exactly where you got the da 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 da. It's from Hey Joe. You just put it to a rhythm." And he continued to, and he was thinking while he was hearing that, John Bonham. And Ritchie Blackmore continued saying, "An Immigrant Song was Jimi Hendrix's Little Miss Lover." And he repeated that intro riff of the Immigrant Song. He was not happy. He was not a happy man after he heard that, but he started. That's what Blackmore said, and he continued. "We then went upstairs to the toilet. We were both there, weeing away, and he says, 'Rich, do you mean all that?' And I said, 'No, not really. I was just having a go back at you.' And Bonham said, 'Oh, I didn't mean it either. There's room at the top for everybody.' So we carried on weeing and went downstairs and started drinking again. But he loved it. He was the kind of guy who liked confrontation, and I would always give it to him. But I always remember when he said how we'd taken bits and pieces from people. So I told him where he got his stuff from. It was interesting to see how his mind was going, 'Paige, you're a bastard, now I know.' They were good days, so I had some very funny times with John Bonham and Keith Moon too. I was living in LA. Keith used to come up to the house at the time. I used to supply the people and he would supply the goods." And that's the funny story of when Ritchie Blackmore criticized Led Zeppelin to John Bonham. He was just really confronting him and just being funny, just joking. But he was not wrong, because especially the Immigrant Song and Little Miss Lover, if you go listen to the Jimi Hendrix song, I mean, it is the guitar riff of Immigrant Song, totally. And for example, Black Knight from Deep Purple is a song from it's actually Summertime. I don't remember who recorded first, but it's Summertime, a really famous song. It's got the same riff, the same pattern. So, and obviously, as you probably know, Led Zeppelin faced a lot of accusations from ripping off blues artists and etc. They had to include them on the songwriting credits. But you know, there's that thing about art. Everything is kind of a copy, but you do something new with it. Everybody's influenced by something, and hey, I mean, it's better to be influenced by something, create something new and spectacular, maybe even better than the from what that was originated from. And thank God we got Deep Purple, Ritchie Blackmore, Led Zeppelin, and we had, sadly for a short time, John Bonham, but the music's there. The music's forever, and you know, the music is great. And that's the story. I hope you like this little funny story about the two. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comment. And if you want to read more in this whole interview with Neil Jeffries, you can go to the description, visit the article we wrote about it, and there you can find the link to this 1995 wonderful interview with Neil Jeffries. Okay, and that's it. Don't forget to visit rockandrollgarage.com. Thank you for watching, and I see you later.